Hello, friends. Here we are once again for another surprise live stream. So, welcome to the show. I'm just getting things set up. Hope to go. Maybe I can do another 2 hours today. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I've got this crazy idea that it would be cool to do like 4 days in a row of live streaming. I'm not sure if I can pull it off, but wouldn't it be cool? So, yeah, gonna see what we can do there. Just getting things set up. I'm not quite in chat yet, but I will be in a moment. There we go. Getting my chat popped out here. And now I'll just go about sharing this live stream. Ian Dominic TV. That's a good idea, says Ian. So thank you for that endorsement. I will do my best to try and make that happen. So, how do I sound? How's my clarity and my volume? Am I all right? Just need a quick little sound check before I get things fully going here. I'm posting about it right now in the Small YouTubers Boost subreddit so that people there can come join the fun. And if perfect, thank you. I will take perfect. Can't get better than perfect. And so the Small YouTubers Boost subreddit is a subreddit that I've created in large part to be kind of like a safe sandbox for people who don't understand Reddit. Reddit can be kind of intimidating for people who don't have much experience with it, myself included. I'm trying to post right now on the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook page. I don't think it took. Or maybe I just posted it twice. This is it's weird. I'm posting it and then like I click post and then nothing appears. So let me just see. I may have just posted this twice. Just now. It seems I don't like just now and then yesterday. I don't like the way that Facebook groups display. Facebook pages display for the admin, because the posts it intersperses stuff. There's like posts and then there's other admin information and then there's posts and there's other admin information. Yeah, okay, it looks like I did double post. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete that second one because that is not a good look. All right, next time I should just have faith. Ian Dominic TV, since you're the first person to speak in chat, we normally go chronologically in chat for any requests that you might have. So if you have a question, if there is a request, you have a tutorial, maybe you'd like me to help you get a video unstuck, maybe you want a channel review, something else, some other social media review, I can take a look at, I don't know, your Twitter profile or something, whatever you like, whatever works for you, anything I can do, I will do my best to help. Right now I'm just sharing this in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, which hit 134,000 people strong today, which is super awesome. Nice to have kind of February behind us. February was a rough month in the group, so things are doing better there. We've returned to growth. February we had a brief period of, what is it the economists call it? Negative growth? Which is when things shrink a little bit. That was a little disturbing. It was the first time in 3 years that the group actually contracted and was losing members. And I mean, it's not like it's a numbers game necessarily, but it's like you want to know that the time you're investing and the things that you're doing is hopefully helping people. And having more people come along on that journey is a sign that it's working. And so when people were leaving in greater numbers than new ones were joining, we were kind of like, what's going on? Like, we hadn't changed anything. So I'm guessing it's just a Facebook algo thing. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's in the past. So cool. We are live. So Ian Dominic TV, do you have a request? Is there anything I can do for you today? Do you have a YouTube question? Is there a particular thing that you're here hoping to gain from the live stream? Something maybe that you want to learn? Let me know. We've got Funko Landing TV, which is kind of a cool name because like Funko Land and stuff like that, and Funko Pops and all that. Let's see. Your videos rock, by the way. Anyone watching Ray right now, if we can hit that like button on this video. Thank you. That's awesome. Funko Landing TV. Very nice of you to say that. And yes, please, everybody do. if you can. We want to grow this community. As much as I try to help people, and I do these deep dive consultations, is often what I end up spending a lot of the time in the live streams doing. Hopefully, we can get a community that can support each other. And so that can happen in chat, that can happen in the Facebook group, it can happen on Reddit, Twitter, a whole bunch of places. Alt F4 Gaming is here, says hi. So Ian, Dominic TV, Funko Landing TV, and Alt F4 Gaming, you're the first 3 people here. I have yet to have a request of myself. There was a request for everybody else to click like, and so thank you for that. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing all right. I had a lot of running around today. So I was at like one end of town and the other. So I'm a little lower energy than I think the last couple live streams, but I normally end up drawing energy from the activity and from you fine folks in chat. So this might be a bit more subdued live stream, or maybe I'll get amped up and have crazy antics towards the end. I don't know. We'll see how long I can go for. I'm not sure, but I have yet to receive a request in chat, so I'm just happy here chilling with you fine folks until somebody asks me to dance for them or something. I'm not going to dance, but I mean, if there's something I can help you with regards to YouTube, fire away in chat. Long way home. Welcome back. Figured out who you were in the group, so that was nice. And so, yeah, I've been getting some really positive feedback on these live streams just recently. I mean, I had in the past as well, but like particularly of late. Can you sing Despacito? No, I can't. I don't know the words. I'm not a big fan of that song. So it's not really my thing. You guys don't want me to sing, trust me. It's a bad idea for everybody. So is that what you wanted? Normally I have like 20 people in chat being like, review my channel. And so far it's like, yeah, sing Despacito. And how are you doing? That's cool. It's a new twist. Despacito, I don't know the word, so I will say burrito. It was funny in my journeys around town today. I'm a big fan of Taco Bell. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. And so at one point we were driving by a Taco Bell, and I was just wishing I was hungry because I wasn't. So I didn't get to do that. I would like a channel review, but I was third here. Yeah, but you're the first to make a request in chat, and so I haven't heard from Ian Dominic TV. Or Funko Land TV in terms of a request. So, and Alt F4, I remember you've asked before, and it was like I never got to it. So I'm actually glad you asked that, because I felt bad having not gotten to your channel before. That doesn't look right. Your logo in chat is kind of goldish. I don't really know what it is. It's almost like kind of a bat, like a bat crossed with a Pac-Man? Or like two things huddled together? I'm thinking of like an enemy from Mario 2. Anyways, obviously not this red thing here. And this is actually a bit of a tricky thing, because there is an Alt F4 Games and it's verified. So that's rough. It looks like it's German, judging by its description. They've got 382 subscribers and 350 videos. So from a naming standpoint, I'm not surprised that my TubeBuddy browser plugin off to the right here is giving a score of poor 20 for that name, because it is so very close to that other one. So that's something to think about. I think I found you down here, and it looks like it's actually a shield of some kind, a logo, like a crest. So that I was just giving my impressions of what it looked like, very small. It's a badge. Yeah, badge. Good work. And so that was, I think that, it's obviously like as small as the logo shows in chat, not coming through very clearly what it is. It's much better here in the larger version that we've got in the search results here. And just thinking about that name, I'm curious. You have 200 subscribers, so I have to ask, do you already have your custom URL? Part of the reason I ask that is because if you already do, you're probably pretty, and if it is the Alt F4 Gaming, then you're probably well locked into that name. If you weren't locked into it, we could discuss alternatives. It's kind of funny, alternatives. Just because of that challenge with that other channel that has a super similar name, admittedly in a completely different language. But I'm thinking that might not be an option, so you might just have to dance with the one that brought you. What is it? You go to the war with the army you have, not the army you want. It's interesting. The second most used tags is trolling, and then troll. That's a little concerning. But then later I'm seeing things like German, which is so that's probably largely tying to that top result. So, anyways, let's dive in here to that logo. I think the logo is the kind of art that you're using there is very detailed and is very nice, and I think that that would work well in a banner, but in a the channel icon, it's generally seen at such a low resolution that I don't know that it's coming through very clearly. So you might want to consider the design on the badge, like within the shape of the shield, making that one solid color. And then having it so that there's a bit more contrast. I like the font that you used for F4. It's very Star Trek, which I dig. Kind of like not quite First Contact era Insurrection, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, I like the font from the F4. And the gaming font is blocky and good and should be well legible. The problem with it is it's right now against the it has a thin stroke, an outline around it that's black, and that's not going to scale well because it's so thin, and it's immediately in front of something that is like black and yellow stripes, kind of almost like a bar pattern or a flag. And so it's two things that are very similar visually on top of each other, and so one does not have sufficient contrast against the background to pop forward very well. And the strokes are very thin on the text. You have white stroke around the alt, which I'm not sure is helping the alt, honestly. You've got the black stroke around the F4, which is fine, but I think too thin. And then the black stroke around the gaming, also very thin. I think it's helping a little bit, but I think you might want to increase the thickness of that. And like I said, change the shield into a solid color. And then, like, let's say you turn that shield solid black. Then you just want to change alt to something else, probably. And it could go yellow, white, yellow, like a pattern. So alt could be yellow, F4 could be white, and then gaming could be yellow, and the shield could be black. And the wings on the shield could still be yellow. That could work and scale better. Alternatively, you could make the body, the fill on the shield, yellow, and then change gaming to something else. Probably not black. Maybe you just want to go all white with the text for all three, possibly, just for simplicity. Because, again, it's nice. It's nice at higher resolutions only, though. And so the detail is lost when it's smaller. And so when you have a very small space, which honestly, that's a theme in a lot of the stuff we talk about on channel reviews. We talk about, the beginning part of your channel description, the beginning part of your video description. We talk about, titles and things like that, where we really, I think, as YouTubers, small, medium, or large, one of the things graphically and in terms of writing text we often, I think, struggle with, or as a challenge, is communicating a lot in a small space, whether it's the few pixels you have to play with, or the few characters before you get cut off on a preview. So it's just something to think about, how you use and maximize the space that you've got. So I would say simplifying the logo would be a good thing. At least in terms of the profile picture. In other places, it could be more complicated. And it's okay to have, I think, a logo of various complexity as long as the theme and the general shapes and messaging is consistent. So that's just some thoughts on the profile picture there. I'm liking the description that I see here. World of Warcraft guides and news. Boom! Right there. Perfect beginning. I love it. Don't change a word of that beginning. That's great. Here at Alt F4 Gaming, our vision is to get as much information out as possible while being... That's pretty good. Now, while being ... is where it's truncating. The description normally cuts off around 120 characters, something in that range. So a little less than a tweet even. What I would suggest for that second sentence is to drop the word here. So you just say at Alt F4 Gaming, our vision. And you could probably drop the comma after gaming. So, I mean, it's not a lot of characters we're freeing up here. We're talking like 4, 5, 6 characters we've saved up. But that could be enough to get one more word there. And I'm very curious what comes after while being something. If it's while being funny, while being, I don't know, real, while being skilled, while being accepting. I don't know. Like, what word comes after being, that could actually tell quite a lot. And so that may or may not be strategic because you might want people curious about how that ends and click in to go see. But I'm not sure. And again, in the gaming niche, it's so competitive that you almost kind of got to put a lot of cards on the table early on, I think. Because if you're easier to understand quickly, then you're more likely to get that very rare and competitive space audience. So it's a minor thing, but that makes it easy. So at Alt F4 Gaming, our vision is to get as much information out as possible. You could drop our vision is to. So you could say at Alt F4 Gaming, we get out as much information as possible while being, and then we can get a little bit more of those key substantive words earlier on in the channel description. But don't touch that first sentence because beautiful, perfectly done. 200 subscribers, 33 videos, pretty good ratio there. Gonna dive right in. We got a channel trailer, sort of. Oh, silly Chanalytics. I will see you in a moment. Wow, that banner's awesome. And that is actually really funny in a way because your banner, like the Alt F4, that pops, that's great. It's a great font and it looks wonderful. And ironically, the way it looks on your banner would probably scale really well down to your profile picture. So I would recommend on your profile picture, the badge, go all black, make the font all yellow, and get the alt. And as much as I love that F4 font there, I'd almost consider using the one from your banner. I think it scales a little better and it's a little bit more fun. And so the Alt F4, I think in your profile picture should look pretty much just like it does here. Put the Alt above the F4. But I think that this design on the banner is really, really good. And I see, like, I get now that the background image behind the badge and the text is the same in both. So there's good consistency there. And so, like I'm saying, I'm liking this font in the Alt F4 on the banner. So using that consistently across your images, I think would work really well for a consistent design aesthetic. So I think that would be good. So you got the basis here. You've got your link to Twitter set up on your banner. It looks like that's done properly. It's Alt F4 Gaming, I see. So you're probably well committed to the name, and that is totally fine. Let me just take a look here in chat just to see where things are going. Give me a couple years, I'll be at the top. I love that. That's great. I believe you absolutely have the potential. That would be amazing. It looks like Ian's got a question in there. I'll be happy to get to that after the channel review. What are your thoughts on the challenges for money? Like, for example, do this and win. I believe you did not answer that question last time I was here. No, I don't even think I saw that question. So I'm sorry if I missed it in previous. I'm going to try and come back to that after this channel review because that's a cool question. I'll think on it in the back of my brain while I do this review. So let's just see how things are going. So the video that you have serving in as a channel trailer is not itself a channel trailer in design because it says all mount drop locations from Cataclysm. So that tells me that this is a video about a specific thing. And so it's only a little over 4 minutes, and it's sitting in as a channel trailer. So if you don't yet have a channel trailer, this is a thing to do for those other channels out there that are watching. Have something in there as a trailer. I need to do that on this channel. I've been bad. I haven't gotten around to it yet. And I also need to design a proper channel trailer for this channel. But for those of you who are curious about channel trailers out there, feel free to go check out my primary channel, Vacation Impossible. I've got a channel trailer up there that I'm really proud of and that I've got a lot of positive feedback on. And my analytics tell me have been driving subscribers. So I'm not one to put myself up as an expert. It's not the best thing ever, but it has been converting and performing well for me. So if that inspires you or maybe helps answer some of your questions about what a channel trailer should or could look like, cool. That's an option. It's a resource out there for you. Generally speaking, channel trailers, 30 to 90 seconds. Make it some of the best stuff that you do, and you can set it to music. You have the original audio, or you can have a voiceover. And this is, if we're counting, this is going to be my first mention of the word why. I talk about this a lot. I like this book by Simon Sinek. There's a link to it in the description. But if you can articulate the why of what you're doing as part of the voiceover for the channel trailer, you can hook an audience pretty quickly, effectively. But it's not just that. It's like, this is a bad metaphor. It's like you sink your claws into them or hooks into them like deeply. But that's kind of what it is, because if it really resonates with them on an emotional level, if it aligns with their values and stuff like that, then they're going to instantly feel much much stronger, quicker, deeper connection that might have them coming back looking for you, even if, for example, let's say they subscribe but they don't get the notifications. Whether they've enabled them or not, that's kind of a dicey proposition with YouTube, but that's the kind of thing that they're going to come looking for you after time if it's not being served up. And so that's one of the ways we can get around when the YouTube functions don't function the way they're supposed to function. And notifications has been something that a lot of bigger YouTubers have really, had concerns about for a very long time. And I don't know that they're getting better. I'm not an expert in the notification area, and I don't have too many beefs around it. My primary channel, Vacation Impossible, it's about travel. And so part of the challenge with that in terms of driving subscribers is if I'm showing you a video of Mexico this week and Alaska next week, well, if you're going to Mexico, that's great for now, but you're not going to care about next week. So I can understand that people don't subscribe. And if they subscribe, that they don't put notifications on, I hardly blame them. And so the notification thing isn't an area that I've focused on deeply. I'm more about the search, because with my kind of a channel, I need to keep, as I have informational, fun, entertaining content, I need to keep bringing in that new audience who has those questions or hasn't been exposed to those ideas or whatever it is that they're looking for. That's my area of focus. Anyways, the description here on this video, welcome back to Alt F4 Gaming. Today we answer the question, where to find all mount drop locations for Cataclysm. That first line, I don't know is adding much. I mean, you're getting the name in there, but I see you've got it again further down. So you could begin with, we answer the question, or just begin with where to find. But one of the things that I've got to give you props for here is you have your title basically, or at least very similar, yeah, right there. You have your title in the description, and it appears organically. So that's another big, check mark, thumbs up, well done for me. First was the beginning of your channel description, and also this. So that's going to help you when people are searching that term. You'll rank higher by having it in those two places. Well, we answer that question. I don't know that phrase helps in terms of text. Verbally, it's okay, but I don't think in text it reads great. Grab your alt characters and come on an adventure with us through all the dungeons, raids, and rares that drop mounts. I like that sentence. That sentence is really solid. I wouldn't change a word of that. And then you get into talking about subscribing. And there's that word content. It's a pet peeve of mine. Content is super broad and can mean almost anything. Given from what I'm seeing here, you're on two platforms. You're on YouTube and you're on Twitter. So subscribe for more instructional videos, more tips, more fun, more tricks, more adventures. I'm not a fan of content. I think that it's funny, I thought about it the other day. I was like, if you took some teenager or rebel from like the 80s and plopped them into today, and they would hear people talking about things like content and product. It actually reminds me of an old Bare Naked Ladies song. There's a line, I never thought words like product would ever leave my lips. And so it's like, the terminology we're using now casually comes from what was the real corporate business speak just a couple decades ago. And so so maybe because I'm a child of the 80s, that's just part of my background. But when I hear people talking about content, it feels like it should be some dude in a suit, and same thing with product. I mean, a lot of people talk about hair product and, are you using product? And that's not so much a concern for old Ray, but it's just funny because I'll sit there and I'll observe other people having a conversation. I'll hear them going back and forth talking about things like product and content, and those words carry so little meaning behind them. They're so non-specific. I think that's one of the criticisms people have of businesses, is that the business speak and corporate talk is that they use so many words, but they end up saying nothing because the words have so little specificity they could apply to anything. We're going to leverage our advantages to position ourselves in a competitive nature against our competition. What did I just say? I don't know. We're not buying anything new. We're going to use what we got to beat the other guy? Maybe? It's like a puzzle. And so press releases and things often read like that. One of the interesting things as a phenomenon, a little sociologically, is the terminology of fake news and stuff like that. one thing that I heard a couple years ago that really stuck with me, which was interesting, was that some people thought of fake news a couple years ago not necessarily being wrong information, but information that was delivered inauthentically. So they would turn on CNN or whatever news source, CBC in Canada or something else, and the newsman or woman, the person reading from the prompt or whatever, was very clearly reading from a prompter, and again, the words were so sanitized that they were almost devoid of meaning, and so it just didn't feel authentic. So they want to go to somebody like a Philly D to get their news because he speaks with some passion. He talks about his personal perspective. Which, I mean, you know, that's a whole other thing about journalism, whether or not your anchor should express their personal opinion. Let's leave that aside for this conversation. But it was about this, it was about inauthenticity. And we think about the struggle of traditional media, print media, magazines, television, struggling against new media, where, you know, websites, YouTube, Twitter, other sources of getting information, entertainment, or content, if you will. And so a lot of what I think people drive to is they find a personality that they enjoy watching, someone with a voice that they enjoy listening to, somebody who speaks with passion, you know, their personal opinion that has values that they associate with, and they make that connection. And so that's what I'm all about. Like, my legal first name is Raymond, right? And I like to go by Ray because I feel it's more approachable. And so that's just a thing where I want to break down the barriers that make people feel apart and different from each other in some degree. And how I call myself is one of the ways I do that. And so if I'm out here and I'm trying to express myself and my emotions in what I'm talking about, and I'm like, I'm excited for your channel, I'm excited about your attitude about your channel, whatever that is. And then I immediately pivot to something like, okay, well, let's talk about, content. It feels like I just took a step back from you. And I put on the suit jacket, and now it's something less personal, right? And so, I mean, that's just me. That was a bit of a rant about one single word, I know. But it's also because, like, let's talk about BingeTube for a second. There's a group that I administrate on Facebook called BingeTube, and it's supposed to be about finding fun videos to watch. It's not about the business of creating videos. That's sort of verboten in the group. We've got small YouTubers boost for that. And so it's interesting about drawing that line sometimes, because there's the time when you're talking to other content creators, and you're talking about a content strategy, and you're talking about CTR and all these other things. And, YouTube's so complicated. There's a lot of jargon out there. If there's some YouTube jargon you understand, ask in chat. I'll try to clear it up for you if I can get to it. But so when two YouTubers are together and they're talking about that kind of stuff, like, there's a friend of mine, I'll go out for lunch and we'll be having some cheesesteak and we'll be talking about, like, hey, what's your what's your CTR, or more often it's like, what's your CPM? We're talking about that back and forth. And the funny thing is if someone were to watch my videos on my Vacation Impossible channel, I never talk about any of that kind of stuff. And so I just try to make it personal and fun and accessible, relatable, all of those things that I think people come to expect in new media and that they want more of in their lives. Maybe because they're leading more isolated lives. That's a whole other conversation, the whole mukbang thing. But when we're sitting there, we probably sound like two ruthless business people talking about how we're going to short some stock to make money or have a hostile takeover of somebody, because we're, for one thing, we don't have a lot of time for lunch to talk, and we're often very, pointed and targeted. And every now and then, out of the corner of my eye, I'll catch somebody eavesdropping. And so maybe I'll try to drop my channel name, and maybe they'll check on their phone. I don't know. But also, I kind of am curious, like, I like observing people's reactions around me and micro expressions and things. And so I can see that when I'm talking about, CPMs and revenue and projections and growth patterns, and I'm using these sorts of terms, the other people, they get disinterested. The way they look at me changes a little bit, and not, I think, for the better. Every now and then, some people are like, what's this? It's like you're trying to catch a stock tip or something from somebody sitting next to you at the steak restaurant or something. But like 9 times out of 10, when I start using that YouTube jargon, I think it turns them off. And so I think as YouTubers, we should, I think it's beneficial to try not to use the jargon to our audience unless it's a channel like this one where I'm talking to other creators, and so this is like a business chat, a business talk, a consultation, whatever you want to call it, a webinar, I suppose. And so jargon's appropriate and it can save time, but when you're talking to a casual audience, I think it could put that distance back in there, it could build a little bit of a wall, and that doesn't help you reach out to the audience and connect with them. So that's something to think about, is like, when are you in Small YouTubers Boost and when are you in BingeTube? You know, BingeTube's talking to just a viewing audience. Small YouTubers Boost is talking to fellow creators about strategy and things you've learned. So that's just something to think about. I'm liking the initial thumbnails that I'm seeing here. This yellow consistent theme, yellow font, very good, nicely readable, pops, gets your attention. I really like this top left corner design. It's the simplest thing in the world to have these two yellow lines diagonally, sort of like a bent over page almost in a book. I don't do that. I keep my books as pristine as possible. I mean, you know, look, good condition book, affiliate link down below. Haven't actually read that one yet, but I've seen the TED Talk. This book I have read, looks brand new, right? Affiliate link down below. I highly, highly recommend Andrew Matthews' books, as well as Simon Sinek. I think that it helps you lead a happier, more intentional life, and understanding your why brings you fulfillment. Those books will help with that. So anyways, but that segue, notwithstanding, or that diversion, I should say, I really like that thing that's happening in the top left corner. I can, like, these are this person's videos. And so then when I see in recommended, and maybe I click without fully reading or looking that carefully, if I just know I want more of this person's videos, let's say I'm watching one and I know I love this channel, in the corner of my eye, I'm probably going to look, I think, for two things. One, I'm going to look for that red bar at the bottom. If that's full, I've already watched it, so I'm probably not going to rewatch it. So if that's not there, but those yellow stripes in the corner is there, I'll just go click on it if I've become a true fan and I just want to binge their content, right? So that's great. That's my third, like, big winning point on this channel. This channel is doing some things incredibly well. It's got some things down. It's like a masterclass. They got the yellow outline, which is very nice, and then those things there. The yellow outline isn't used as consistently, and so that might be a way of indicating one kind of video from another. On my Vacation Impossible channel, and I haven't done this totally consistently, but I try to use a gold banner around my short tip videos, and then all the other videos don't have, not a banner, but like a border. So maybe that's what's happening here, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just the evolution of the thumbnail. And maybe that's just what they're doing more recently. But I do really like those two dimensions. And so I would encourage keeping up with that, absolutely. And so I noticed down here, 90 Minutes of Farm Isle of Giants does not have any of that yellow stylization in the thumbnail, and so that really stands out. It stands apart, not necessarily positively, I don't know. There's some taste factors there. And I see it's interesting, because, like, the one to the left of it is 2 years old, and it has that style, but that one from a year ago does not. And this channel had, how many? What was it? It was 33 videos. So it's not a huge back catalog, speaking as a person with over 500 videos on my primary channel, and then another 100 plus videos on this channel. So, you know, if you wanted to achieve a little bit more of a consistent look, you could go back and add the yellow border and top left stripe to anything that's missing it. But I would have a big caveat on that. Don't do it for any video that is currently drawing 100 views or more per month, because that has a certain level of momentum, and by changing the thumbnail, oftentimes, you know, YouTube's like, yeah, you know, great, this thing is great, keep going, they change the thumbnail, oh, I don't know what I have anymore. Oh, what did he do? What is different here? I need to take another careful look at this thing. What is this really? This thumbnail might offend people. This thumbnail might not be accurate. This thumbnail might be amazing and get so many more clicks. Maybe I need to show it to more people. Maybe I need to show it to less. I'm not so sure. So you can do that in any video getting less than 100 views per month, because it's not really promoting it much anyways. There's no risk there. But if you've got something 100 plus, you could lose those consistent views. And, you know, for small channels, 100 views per month on a single video, that ain't nothing. That's not bad growth, or just even a sustainment model to keep you out there and keep the traffic coming. So that's sort of my advice there. So maybe consider doing it, but be very judicious about when you do that. And for those of you who maybe try a lot of different thumbnail styles, A couple other thoughts. One, try not to change the thumbnail on a particular video more than twice a year. You need to give the algorithm time to reassess and re-understand the video with the new thumbnail. And because it's not in the initial first week of the video being up, it really takes its time with it. You know, I've often said that the first hour, first day, or first week of a YouTube video is almost like the only hour, day, and week of the video, to a degree, because it promotes it as new, and it's still forming an opinion. Whereas if it's 6 months later and you've changed things, it's like it has to revise its first opinion, and not unlike a person, that's hard to do. So it needs time. And if you do it too frequently, then you can never build momentum, because it's constantly dropping it and having to pick it up and realize, okay, no, wait, what is this? And so that goes for titles, descriptions, and tags as well. Don't monkey with it too often. I know that we want to try and understand what works and what doesn't. And if you want to do something like that for thumbnails, I haven't experimented with this myself, but the paid version of TubeBuddy has something called A/B testing that will basically intermittently change the thumbnail, and it will assess which thumbnail gets a better CTR and performs better for you. A lot of big YouTubers swear by it. I just haven't dedicated the time to trying it out for myself, but there is a link to TubeBuddy down below. I recommend you check it out. And so if that's something anyone's interested in doing, I know that Achilles Melee, for example, was doing some of that when he had it, and he found it very useful. The layout of the channel here, we've got uploads, created playlists, and popular uploads. So that's pretty good. Created playlists, what we have here is a playlist of playlists. And I noticed that these playlists have very few videos in them. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. I'm going to go look at these playlists here and see what we've got. Old WoW videos. Take the word old out of there. I went on a wobbler last time about having old in a title. That applies to not thumbnails, that applies to playlists as well. Don't put old in there. You're just telling people, please don't watch this. And let's never, ever say that to somebody. Vintage, maybe. Vanilla, perhaps. I don't know, but not old. That's no good. And so the channel here, I think, needs more videos. You know, if you're able to produce more videos, more content, there I am using the word, putting out more videos is the biggest thing you can do to support a channel, never more than 1 per day. And even that is a lot, so I wouldn't recommend it. But as close as you can get to that, that's going to be a huge thing, because you are doing so many things so well. Your thumbnails are largely on point. Your banner is perfect. Your your channel description, solid. So you've got so much stuff that you're doing right here. Now we need to have the content that can really be pushing that and be pushed by that, to have that synergistic. So other than looking maybe at the profile picture that I talked before and some minor tweaks here and there, I think what you should primarily focus on is just creating more content. Is, I think, going to be an important thing to do. Let's go take a look here at the Channelytics. This is a TubeBuddy browser plugin function when it works. When it works. Okay, that's not great. Let me just try reloading this. TubeBuddy's good when it works. It usually works. There it is. Normally it's like a little yappy dog where it's like, please use me, please use me. This is interesting. We both of our channels, My Vacation Impossible and your channel, experienced a similar pattern of growth around February 24th. Look at this. This is odd. Because then it mirrors it for like several days after, from like, this is kooky, from February 20th to like the 29th. There was a period of 9 days where our growth pattern was very similar. What's that all about? That's weird. How about our subscriber growth? Okay, no correlation there. Video production? And that one about me putting out 2 videos in 1 day, that's a lie. That's not accurate. Okay, so you had a video come out on the 23rd and the 28th. Wow, that is interesting. We both got kind of similar patterns of views. Completely different content. I don't cover gaming at all anymore. I think I did one video where I talked about challenges updating the 3DS when you want to take it on a trip, because that kind of crossed into travel. Huh. Well, isn't that interesting? I can't explain that one. That one's beyond me. Oh, channel tags, game reviews, humble choice reviews. Humble choice. I know the humble bundle. I don't know what humble choice is. Anyways, humble game reviews, funny game reviews, game streams. Some of these things I'm not sure are doing much for you. Where like just F4 and just Alt are tags. I don't know that those are... They're so short. I would imagine they're relatively competitive, but what you can do to look into that here, you can go into, and even if you have the free version of TubeBuddy, you can do this, Keyword Explorer. Let's do a little bit of research here on that keyword, F4. Explore. Poor, 15. Yeah. Commonly used tags in relation to F4, not in English. Related, well, F4 WoW Online, that's not nothing. F4 Songs, though, right after that it goes sideways for you. High competition, search volumes are high, but yeah, that combination therein is it's not doing a whole lot for you. And so let's try just Alt. So that was 15. Alt has a score of 12, even worse. That's coming up with like alternative rock. For example, in fact, none of these seem to be on brand with you. So like just having Alt wouldn't be good. But now let's combine them. Alt F4. Explore that. Now we're getting up into the fair territory. 35. So having Alt F4 as a tag might help you a little bit. I'm not sure. Is there trolling in Fortnite? Is that part of what you cover? Do you do stuff on Twitch as well? Do you do pranks? I don't know. Because you're WoW, not Fortnite, right? So I would imagine that those aren't helping a whole lot, but I mean it's better than just doing the two words separately. And this is actually an excellent example of why small YouTubers need to go for long tail keywords. You saw how there was really high search volumes for the really short terms, but the competition was off the damn charts. And so when we combine them and have a longer tail keyword, it's less competitive. Even though the previous search volumes were in the millions, this is in the hundreds of thousands. But because there's so much less competition, you actually have a shot at it. And so that's something to consider. And TubeBuddy makes it easy by combining those two scores for you. So I would remove the F4. I would remove the Alt. But I would keep the Alt F4, if that makes sense. And so anything where you can have sort of longer things. Maybe Alt F4 WoW. Alt F4 World of Warcraft. That might be something. But also other stuff too, like you have here Diablo 3 and 4, D3, D4. I bet you D3 and D4 not great tags. If you used to do Diablo and don't anymore, you might keep it. If you just never did Diablo or there are no currently any Diablo videos on your channel, axe them, because actually you're borderline misrepresenting at that point. And that's something that's really important I want to mention to all the YouTubers out there. And you can, I did a community post, my first ever community post on Small YouTubers Boost was talking about quarterly, YouTube releases this report about what they remove from the platform. And for comments, videos, and channels, spam/misleading/scam was the #1 reason in all 3 cases. I think they were all above like 80%. And so what that means is things like having keywords, tags, titles, descriptions that don't accurately reflect the content. That's misleading, right? And YouTube takes a dim view of that. That's what, I mean, they invest so much in the algorithm. They care about the algorithm so much. They let the algorithm run rampant, right? And so part of it is they want to accurately understand what people are searching for and provide it to them. And misrepresenting yourself gets in the way of that. And so that is like a cardinal sin to YouTube, and you do not want to piss off the YouTube gods. You want YouTube to be a good partner and to be on your side, because that's how it'll be easier to succeed on the platform, right? And I'm not saying this channel is necessarily doing that, but if you are, and even if you're you're starting out and you're like, you know what, I'm currently doing a playthrough of Warcraft 3, let's say, and hey, can we get a Warcraft 4? Am I the only one who wants that? Like me and Pat Contry and like 2 other guys, are we the only ones who want to play Warcraft 4? But anyways, like let's say you're doing a playthrough of Warcraft 3, and you plan once you complete that to then go play, I don't know, Command and Conquer, go do some retro game kind of thing, right? And so you put in your channel tags Command and Conquer, but you haven't even so much as mentioned it anywhere, I recommend against that. Because on the surface, if some random person at YouTube who's looking at possibly maybe your channel gets reported and they're doing a review, and they see that you've tagged your channel to Kingdom Come with Command and Conquer, and there's no Command and Conquer content anywhere, it's look like you're maybe trying to get traffic on search terms that you have no business getting traffic from because you're not in that space at all. And then you could just, like, they could take down your channel or something. So don't risk it. And so if you think that, like, when you're first setting up your channel, of course, you know, you don't have a lot of videos, and it's okay to do a little bit of that, but I would just really, really caution about accuracy, because you can do everything right in every single way, and you could get a giant audience and be a giant success, but if you've got a whole bunch of misrepresented stuff, suddenly your comments, your videos, and even your channel might start disappearing, and you could be getting community guideline strikes because of it. So I just can't stress it enough. When people come into the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group and they just say, what should I tag my videos with? Just whatever's trending? I want to shake the hell out of them, because I'm like, no, you're going to lose your channel if you do something like that. If you want to make videos about what's trending and use accurate tags to reflect that, that's fine. That is a strategy. It's not one that I'm personally fond of, but some people try that, and some find success and some don't. I'm not an expert in that particular area. I'm not an expert in much, actually. Full disclosure. I do these live streams because people in the group ask me to, and so I share what little I do know. And one thing I absolutely do know, because I've looked at the reports and I've read the data, is misleading stuff is basically, you know, I kind of wish sub for sub was the thing that got most channels shut down, but it's not. I'm not exactly sure what that gets categorized under, but misleading, I think, is really what it is. You say that, you know, hey, here's an interview with a supermodel, and they click on it, and it's just a slideshow of a bunch of pictures, you know, stuff like that. Any kind of misleading stuff is really what'll kill you more than anything else. So that's just some thoughts around that. So, you know, fill it out, have lots of channel tags, but make sure you keep it accurate is really, really key, because I don't want to see anybody lose their channel, unless you're like a sub for subber, in which case I will revel in your demise. Okay, because you're cheating, and the rest of us are working hard, so, like, just don't. They will catch you, and they will find you, and this is 2 live streams in a row where I'm making Taken references. It's a little dated. Our team so far. Oh, you're a team, so you're like an ensemble group. I like that. Vacation Impossible is an ensemble group. I run it. I do almost all the editing. I've got a guy that does the music, but the people who appear on it and the people who film for it, there's tons of us. And it's cool. I really like that dimension of it. So, real name Aiden, 28, from Yorkshire in England. I've played WoW for 14 years, always being ahead with the news. I've been a gamer my whole life. It's my passion. I'll be uploading WoW Gold Rep Achievement Guides as well as class guides in the future. Shadowlands, any PTR news worth mentioning? Wait, hold on. It's not a team, it's one person. If you are a team and you do have more people, then I would go in there and, like, are you trying to create a clan? I mean, that's a whole different thing. But even still, if it's like, here's our team, and then you list one person, I would just take out that heading, our team so far, and just largely leave the rest. It's fine. Looking for partnerships and collaborations, contact email below for inquiries. That's nice. I like that. That's professional. Got your country set up there and your email set up properly. Got over 100,000 views. That's no small thing to do. Congratulations on that. You should feel proud. Yeah, I think that's probably concluding my channel review for this one. Let me just touch base with chat. Oh, Achilles Melee's here. I've been talking about you. Hopefully I said good things. Consulting fee? What's this? I must have missed something in the chat here. You could be talking about paint drying, and I could listen to you for hours. Thank you. That is, there's people where I feel that way about them as well. Simon Sinek is probably one of them. I like his voice. He's got a very specific accent, and there's a few people else out there. So that is a huge compliment. Thank you. That's great. Let's see. The Reynold Reed channel is here. Yeah, I just don't. You just said, give me a consulting fee. I'm not sure what Achilles Melee was talking about there. Day 9, I used to watch his SC2 videos. StarCraft 2, probably. Got the idea from Day 9. Oh, that's probably a creator. Okay, someone else were amazing. What about the whole challenge? Yeah, no, that is absolutely next. So let's just dive into that right now. So Ian Dominic TV asks, Question: what are your thoughts on the challenges for money? Like, for example, do this and win $10,000. So that's an interesting thing. I'm not sure I fully understand the question in its entirety. So, um, like, what are your thoughts on challenges for money? So is this like larger YouTubers putting up cash rewards like an X Prize for people who can do something? For instance would be excellent here. An example, if you could say like, oh hey, you know, I can make stuff up. I don't know. Peter McKinnon said that if you can take the best picture of a flower, I'll give you $10,000. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what these people do. I'm too busy creating my own stuff. But is it that kind of a thing, or is it kind of like an X Prize? I'm not sure exactly the phenomenon you're referring to. I have a lot of thoughts about challenge like that. Mr. Beast, yeah. So I'm guessing he's something like that. The ones from Mr. Beast, the whole challenges for money. So it's like retweet this, and I'll pick one random retweeter and give them money, or eat I don't know a cupcake of dog poop or something, and I'll give them money. Like, yeah, Mr. Beast. I don't know. I think that's. I mean, I can speak about contests and challenges more generally. Like for example, when small channels do contests where subscribe to me, that's dicey. That's like borderline violating the terms of service. But if it's like, I'll pick a random commenter on this video and I'll send them something. Oh, hold on a second. I need to, hold on a second. Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. There was a knock at the door. Uh, Let me know if I'm fully back. Can you hear me? Is everything good? While I was gone, could you still hear room noise? I'm not sure if I set up that please stand by correctly, but that was just the sort of thing that it's for. Right, okay. So anyways, I was talking about, challenges for money. And so, for example, I think a good example that I was somewhat vaguely aware of is Pat Contri years ago had this plush Mario ball thing. I don't know if it was plush or like polyurethane or I don't know, something. And so he had some sort of contest where people could enter to win this ball, and he'd ship it to them. And I think when he speaks about it now, he speaks about it with regret, because something like that is very time limited. So if you have something and there's a contest, follow me on Instagram and I'll pick a random follower to give something to. I mean, people would, in theory, unfollow, unsubscribe, stop watching your content afterwards. I get that it's a gimmick to try and get people to watch your content, and it's like with maybe it's like cheaper than buying ad space somewhere, or a different strategy. Maybe it's a bit more engaging. Maybe you have a specific goal, like it's not about views, I just want to get my engagement up or something. And so maybe you're trying to get people to comment or something like that. And I think that's problematic because it's so time limited, and then once you've given the thing away, whether it's money or a Mario ball or whatever, there's no, like, for a big segment of the kind of people I think that would turn out for that, it's not likely that you're going to turn them into permanent viewers. So I think that's part of the challenge. I just want to check. Can people hear me? Am I good? My audio levels look like they're good, but I just want to make sure that, like, can you hear me? Because chat seems to have, I don't know if it froze or if people are just not chatting. So anyways, that's what I think part of the challenge with that is. And then you've got giving away money. All good. Okay, thank you, Devonator Gaming. Appreciate it. And so then if there's like a cash dimension, especially, I mean, if like that's a really, like, if you've got $10,000, if you've got $1,000 and you want to invest it in your channel, I think there's way smarter ways, because that's just gonna be a brief flash in the pan, and I don't think it'll be a sustained growth model. Whereas if you invest in better equipment, if you get a TubeBuddy license, if you run a relatively inexpensive ad campaign somewhere else, then that will draw people in to view what your regular content is. Right? If people are coming to you because they can win $10,000, and what's your channel about? Like that's actually a good example. If somebody like dropped a channel link in Small YouTubers Boost and said, "Hey, come check out my channel. I'm going to be giving away $10,000." I probably wouldn't approve that because it doesn't say what your channel is about. Am I watching your gaming video, your travel video, your makeup vlog? What is it? What is the content? And so the thing you're using, the carrot that you're using to entice a potential audience in, is completely divorced from what your content is. And so you're not likely to attract, what is it they say? Your vibe attracts your tribe. You are not using your vibe by just handing out money. You are the Joker in Gotham handing out cash at a parade. The people who show up, they might like you for a little while, but it's not going to be sustained. And they got to get their cash. They're going to go away, and they're going to see you got thrown in jail. They're not going to give a damn because they got their cash. Clickbaity a little bit, yeah, to a degree. It's like ninja clickbait because it's Reynold Reed channel can hear me. That's awesome. And so it's Now I've identified the contest dimension and like what the nature of the prize is, but there's also the challenge dimension which comes in here, and that's interesting and a little different too. So like I think challenges do have some potential. But I think that there's some problems with challenges too. One thing that I thought was awesome, I was a little late to the party for a variety of reasons, but there was the Ice Bucket Challenge in, I think, 2014. And so this was to raise awareness and money for ALS. And so some people were doing amazing things, like hockey players were hiring helicopters to dump, like, the kind of big thing of water on them that you use on a fire, right? And so there were those amazing videos. And then there was the people just kind of doing it in their backyards. And there was everything in between. And it was for a great cause. And so there was a part of it that originally had a pretty good and clear message that I think got lost along the way. And part of it was the reason that you were dumped. Like, do people know? I'm curious in chat, actually. I'm going to ask this one. Do you know why people specifically were dumping buckets of ice on themselves as part of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? I'm curious. What I want to see in chat before I talk about it anymore. And so I'm gonna pivot from that to what I think is a problem while I wait for some responses in chat. If anybody remembers, it became the meme of the time is an interesting answer. Thank you, Hardy Tier. And it sort of was. But what was the message? It was intended to carry a message. What was that message? Is my question. And why was it ice? There's a specific reason it was ice water. The same people go around saying, heck, it's the thing to do. That's what it became. Where did it begin? Isn't it like a symptom of ALS? Devonator gaming. Yes. Excellent. You got it. And that's the thing. So few people actually got that message. So part of what it was is dumping ice water on yourself provides such a shock to your nervous system that for a moment you forget where you are in an instant. And so, and can have certain sort of debilitating things that for just a moment simulate a little bit what it's like to have that condition for just a second. And so I think that got lost in a lot of it, which is unfortunate. And so I did the Ice Bucket Challenge. My friend Sam did it, and I did it. And because we were Travel Channel Vacation Impossible, we did it at the Grand Canyon. And that was a piece of work. We were in Vegas. We rented a car. We drove out to the Grand Canyon. We stopped at a convenience store not too far from it, and we got a styrofoam thing, kind of like a roughneck container, and then we bought bags of ice. And then when you get to the Grand Canyon, we were at the South Rim. There's a relatively steep incline to go from where you park to where the canyon itself is and the viewing points. So we had to lug all this weight up there, and it was super heavy, and it was really hot. That definitely got lost. And so I'm happy even if there's just a couple people watching and they're kind of like, oh yeah, let's get that out there. And so we had to lug it up there in the heat. And so then we were right by the canyon and we did it. You can watch the video on Vacation Impossible. I'm really proud of it. It didn't get very many views because we were a little late to the party on that one. But part of the idea was also that challenge was you were supposed to donate money to ALS or get dumped with ice. Was part of what it originally started as. And so it's like, I don't want to get ice dumped and I've been challenged, so I'm going to hand over $100 or whatever to the charity. And so that part got a little mixed, and I'm okay with that because like I donated money and I dumped ice on my head because like dumping ice on my head and challenging other people. That's a way of like paying it forward if you can't do it yourself. But I'm like, you know what? I'm able to do both. Why should it just stop with me and why my one donation? But also, why does it have to pass through me? I want to donate too. And so that's what I did. And I put a screenshot of the donation up at the end to sort of, show it and challenge other people. And so I thought that was great. And that's a way to make a cause potentially go viral. At least in that case, it very much did. And so that was a good cause that had some mixed results. And it did raise tons of money. You were also supposed to donate a small amount if you did it. Okay, cool. You see, and I didn't even know that part. Thanks, Let's Dre. I appreciate that clarification. And I only donated about $25 at the time because I wasn't really flush with cash. So I think I did exactly that. I started at $5, you do the challenge, and $100 if you're challenged and don't do it. Cool. And so that's part of the thing about these challenges is the message can get lost. And if it's just about promoting your own channel, what was that? There's some weird sounds about today. Did you guys hear that? It was like a beeping sound. Anyways, so if it's just to promote your own channel, that could get lost in a bunch of people just thinking it's like the lotto, right? Like if you think about your local state lotto, right? What's its message? What is the why of it, right? Sometimes there is a why for the lotto. It'll be something like most lotteries, I think, often some of the profits go to local school boards and things like that. And so, but again, often that gets lost. And it's just about, hey, I want to be rich. It's about enjoying, even just fantasizing about what it would be like to be the grabillionaire, and that sort of thing. So, it's hard, I think, to tie things like a cash prize to a strong message because it's easy to focus on the wrong thing. So there was that. And then another thought that I have about challenges generally, some channels out there feel like they don't really have their why. Their why is I want to be famous and not much more than that. And that's a little difficult. Wait, the lotto does something beyond taking in cash for sponsors? I 100% didn't know that. I am in British Columbia, Canada, and I do know that our local lottery is... and lottery things are run by a sort of state-run organization, and a big chunk of that has to go towards things like gambling addiction, local schools, and other things. And so it does actually fund some good works. But even people who live here, I don't know about other jurisdictions. We might be unique in that sense. I honestly don't know. But even people who live here don't often know that. And so... there you have it. They're in it for themselves, for the fantasy, whatever. And so anyways, what I was saying is there's a lot of small channels out there that I don't think yet have figured out their why. So please figure out your why if you haven't. Articulate it if you can. And if it's just that I want to be rich and famous, that's a really difficult thing to sell other people on. Especially if you're not, movie star good looks and an amazing singing voice or, some of those things. And even if you do have that, you still got to hustle. You got to work for it, right? But I think that if you don't have movie star good looks and maybe you have a day job and a family to support or things that you that compete for your time where you can't go 1,000% into your side hustle, having a strong why can make up that difference. Or even if you have those things, having a why behind you as well makes you even more appealing. When we hear about, movie stars supporting good causes, Emma Watson at the UN or Angelina Jolie being an ambassador or people working for charitable causes, that makes them more likable and people feel that attachment. And then consciously or subconsciously, they might be more likely to see that next movie. And so there are some external benefits from that. But also, I think the people who do the good works also have fulfillment as well that otherwise they might be trying to fill by having the fastest car ever or other things that are probably more expensive and end up not fulfilling that need that has been clearly identified. And so there's a lot of channels out there that don't have their why yet. I hope they get there. But I see them posting, it's like these people who are like, I don't know what kind of channel to make. What channel is popular? It's like, well, you clearly have no why. You are asking for us to give you a why. Come back with a why, and then we will be more willing to help you, is often how I feel. I try not to say it because I don't want to come off as bullying or anything. And maybe they're just not phrasing it very well. Maybe they have a why and they just haven't shared it yet. But, and so challenges, I think, often kind of are a fallback crutch that some of these kinds of channels can go to. And so like when I go and I see, well, what's your, or like a channel description again in the Facebook group. And I was like, what's your channel about? And they're like, we do challenges. Okay. For one thing, that's pretty broad. What kind of challenges? Is it like, my boyfriend does my makeup challenge? Is it like, I came up with this thing for the Mario Marathon. I called it Canada mode, where you have to beat a level without killing an enemy. Is it a video game challenge? There's all sorts of different challenges. Is it a physical challenge? I'm going to, run this distance with in a sack or something at the fastest time possible. I don't know, something. There's so many different kinds of challenges. So for one thing, it's not well niched down, but for another, it's like, okay, I'm like what's their creative process? And I'm a little judgy here, but it's like, I'll have an idea for something. Like I just the other day recorded a video for this channel. It's not out yet, about YouTube motivation, and it's something I feel strongly about. And I thought I had something useful to say, so I just turned the camera on and filmed myself. Didn't have a script or anything, and so that's fine. That's partly how I create, right? It good or bad, whatever. But there's other people out there who, like, their process for figuring out what they want to create, it's not because they have some ideas they want to share necessarily, or that they're passionate about something. It's they want to be rich and famous, and so they go to the trending tab on YouTube and see what everybody else is doing and say, I will do that too. I'll do my own version. And so I will peel off a tiny little bit of viewers. Maybe I'll come up recommended on this other video, which can be a good strategy. But if you're using that strategy for what you're going to make at the very beginning of the content creation process, it's not sustainable. If you're just chasing the trends, all you're ever going to be is a weak copy of the original. And so you might get a tiny little sliver of views, but are you going to be fulfilled at the end of the day? Then I think all you're going to be doing is chasing numbers. And the numbers will never be enough to make you happy. Because for one thing, you'll never be successful enough. And for another, if it's just the numbers, even if you are giant success, what have I accomplished? What have I created? What have I put into the world? Well, I copied other people. It's like those people that come into the group every now and then. They're like, well, you can make money on YouTube just by copying Creative Commons videos and re-uploading them with slightly better SEO. Like, this drives me nuts. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're not technically breaking the rules of the platform, other than maybe duplication, because that is something they're looking at more now. So you still got to do something slightly original with it at least. But yeah, okay, you're not violating copyright because you went to Creative Commons. Good for you. You did some SEO. You learned about that. That's something fine. But what have you bloody well created? And also, like, people who just do compilation videos, I feel somewhat the same. At least then there's some artistic endeavor involved, because you still, like, selecting what you want to put in and how you edit it together. That can be done very well or very poorly. I've seen both. I'm not a fan of compilations, but I've encountered them out there. And so if you're just doing challenges like the Ghost Pepper Challenge, because it's going to be funny and it's going to get you views, like, okay, maybe you're wise to entertain people. Maybe you got, personality. It feels so hollow to me. And maybe that's me being judgy, I don't know. And so I don't think that those things work really well. Now, that having been said, though, some compilations are entertaining. I absolutely agree. And I am torn sometimes, because sometimes I would want to watch one, but I know that the person doesn't own this content, and I don't want to support that. So I'm like, and most viewers don't give a damn about supporting people who didn't create it, right? So that's a whole thing. That's a societal thing. And so I get that struggle. And so sometimes I do enjoy watching compilations on particular platforms. Not so much YouTube, but other places where I know that they're probably not monetized. So there's that. And so I think, like, okay, let's talk about these big dollar challenges where they got a $10,000, $100,000 behind the challenge or whatever. Make the funniest Ghost Pepper, video, and I'll give you X dollars or something. I think that can only work if you are already a big name. I don't think that kind of thing will take you, because the only way you can get a lot of traction with that, I think, generally speaking, like if you want the media to report on it, is if you're some nobody. But somehow have tons of money. And I mean, honestly, if you've got tons of money, you can buy your way in. Let's talk Baby Shark for a second here. You know how Baby Shark got popular? They bought tons of ad space on YouTube. Most of their initial views was ads. I know, because before I had YouTube Premium, it was coming up all the dang time as an ad for me. And that was well before it seemed to be out in the pop culture zeitgeist ecosphere. And so I think that they bought their way into success. And so you can just do that with ads. And at least then target the ads to the people who enjoy your content and make content that has a why. You do that with your money, right? But if, like, thinking about if you are a giant channel, Mr. Beast, and I don't know anything about Mr. Beast, I've never watched it, so, oops, sorry. Hit the microphone there. But if you're, if you're doing that, and so you put up a challenge like that, just because it's you, combined with the money, you're going to get media attention. And it's going to drive traffic. And I don't know what their goals necessarily are, what the challenges are. Maybe they want it to be like, only people who make less than $30,000 a year can enter, or maybe only in these distressed communities. Like, there could be a good purpose behind it. If you wanted to support the rebuilding in Puerto Rico or something, and you said, okay, my challenge is, to make the best, 90-second video showing Puerto Rico's resilience, or why people should still go there despite Maria shortly after it happened and stuff like that, and I'll give $10,000 to that person. That could be a very good cause. And so it might be for a deeper why. I just think that for smaller channels, it's not necessarily practical. Now, if it's something you could participate in with a chance to win that, again, I don't know it's a great idea because it's going to be so competitive. How are you going to stand out in a crowd? And there's so many ways to do that. It doesn't have to be having a helicopter dump water on you. It doesn't have to be a big budget. It doesn't have to be professionally done. It can be just really sincere. A lot of things gain traction that way, or talented, or what have you. But I think that if you've got that and you can do that, then you don't need to do it as part of somebody else's challenge. I think it's better if you do it yourself and own it yourself. Like, think about American Idol for a moment. How many American Idol winners can you name? If you could go above 5, I'd be surprised. I'm not a fan, so if you're a fan, maybe. But, Kelly Clarkson, Clay Aiken, Ruben Studders, I'm out of names. And so initially it was because it was so new, I think, and it got a lot of people's attention, even if people who didn't watch it knew about them. But who won it last time? And are they a household name now? Only if they had incredible talent and hustle and achieved on top of what the show might have given them for exposure. But over time, I feel like the boost from being on that show has been greatly diminished because it's just so much of it. And I think there's somewhat of a similar thing there. So if it's a brand new idea and you're early, you often have an advantage. Like, for example, it played at the roller rink last night. Like, that show definitely lost its why. So there was... where was I going with that? I got distracted by chat for a second. This is why I normally have chat not on the screen when I'm doing reviews. I'm too easily distracted. But yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I remember what I was going to talk about. So on Vacation Impossible channel, we actually had a really great growth period at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and that's partly because we were on the second ever sailing of a brand new cruise ship called the Carnival Panorama, and so we were, for a lot of those videos, first to market, or early to market, more accurately. There was a 3-day sailing that was astronomical. We didn't do that. We went on the second one, which is 7 days, and so we filmed a lot of stuff, and for the first time ever, I actually did editing whilst on the road, or in this case on the ocean. And so I bought myself a Microsoft Pro Surface 7, particularly for this intent. And so I got I captured in 4K on my phone. I transferred it to the Surface. I edited it in Premiere Pro. I rendered it, transferred the file back to my phone. Then, soon as I was in port, I went hunting for Wi-Fi and uploaded it so I could get it out early. And part of it was I wanted to understand what the value of being early to market on a video was. And it's pretty huge. But if you have that talent, that beauty, that hustle, or you're early to market, whatever it is, then you can probably use that to succeed independently of a contest or competition or a challenge, unless it's something you believe in. So there you go. Some thoughts there. I don't know if that fully answers your question, Ian Dominic TV, but I hope so. Let's see. Funko Lending TV, are you still around? Because you came in real strong in chat, asking everybody to click like, and please do if anybody who's watching. If you're finding any entertainment value in this whatsoever, that helps other people discover this. And honestly, the more this grows, then the more I can do it, I think, is part of it. So that's helpful to me. I'm not seeing anything from Funko Landing TV. I did a pretty in-depth review for The Long Way Home last time. If you're still around, I don't know if you have a question or other request I could do for you. You're pretty early in chat. I'm not seeing anything. DJ Talks is here. Awesome. Always good to have you. And we've got Go Dogs Full One Adventure is in chat as well. Let's see here. Who else do we have? We have the Reynold Reed channel. Hi there. Channel reviews. So I'm assuming Reynold Reed would like a channel review. Doing channel reviews. Might just be telling people what I'm up to. Am I next? You are next. I put up vlogs, and I assume that's supposed to be travel. I hear you. Thank you. That was the help with the sound check earlier. Cool down. Jumping on myself. I cool down. All right. Yeah, Long Way Home is still here. If you have a question or request, let me know. In the meantime, I think the Reynold Reed channel is a little overdue for a channel review. They've been here before. They've asked for it before, and I don't think I've had time to do it. So hit me up in chat while I'm doing this. Oh, go away, Microsoft. I already gave you my password today. It's like a needy, yappy dog sometimes. Okay, the Reynold Reed channel. Let's take a look at this. So we've got a picture of the person in a New York hoodie leaning up against a tree. Let me make sure that matches in chat. Yeah, that looks right. And that's largely what I kind of thought it looked like when I saw it in chat. So that's good. When I searched you, you came up first. It's funny, though, because my TubeBuddy browser plugin gives you a score of 0 on your channel name. And that's just because I think that, yeah, there's no competition, but nobody's searching it either. But it's presumably based on your name, and channels that are based on an individual's name. That's the kind of thing that we expect to see. There's not much you can do about it. Don't be too concerned with that. Some tags that are associated with it. Video, that's a weird tag. I can't believe people even use that tag. There's the Reynold, there's Reed, NY, New York. That makes some sense. Videos, now plural. That's strange. Reynold Reed, the full name, that's to be expected. Music, New York, Albany. So I'm thinking maybe you're a music channel, but we shall see. This is me showing you the discovery process to see what a person who searches for you sees and what my initial thoughts are. So initially your profile picture, just looking at that, it looks like it was taken in the fall. Just because of the coloration. And it looks like there's a building or something in the background. And it looks like you're kind of squinting in the sun, which is creating a bit of a grimace on your face. And, there's a reason, unfortunately, for, innocent and not innocent reasons that people say, oh, you should smile more, to all sorts of people. But there's a reason, because there is a function in the brain where people kind of mirror what they see to a degree. And so there is a subtle tendency, if you see a person smiling, it actually increases the likelihood that you will yourself smile. And so there's another fellow, Voss, I don't want to get his first name wrong. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and he's got some videos on YouTube that are pretty awesome. He's with the Black Swan Group, and one of the things he talks about is that sort of mirroring that you can do with someone, so that your expression can actually have an impact on the psychology of the person you're talking to. And so when somebody sees that they see a grimace, then they have a mirroring effect in their brain. They're not even necessarily conscious of it. But that's why, you see a lot of smiley videos. You also see tons of thumbnails, right? And so it's like, yeah, it's like a happy surprise, shock. Okay, cool, excitement. Adrenaline and stuff like that. Cool. I want to be a part of that. Smiling. I want to be happy. I want to see other happy people. And so I would consider getting a new photo for your profile because it also looks a little awkward, because I think you're squinting, the sun's in your eyes. And so if it was something where you look a little bit more relaxed, you're striking a casual pose. But it feels it could just be me, a little uncomfortable. So I think having a different photo for that would be a good idea. As I learn more about your channel, incorporating the subject of your channel into the picture can be helpful as well. Because right now, looking at that picture, you are either in New York or a fan of New York or both. Other than that, I know nothing about your channel, because that could just be what you were wearing that day. So I honestly know nothing about you or your channel yet. And so I know your channel name, and I've seen your channel profile picture, and I still have no earthly idea what you're about. So now let's dive into the channel description. Welcome to Reynold Reed's official YouTube channel. Reynold Reed is a filmmaker from upstate New York that makes. Okay. I really, honestly, I want to ask this as nicely as possible. Please remove that first sentence. Just delete it. It's wasting space. Reynold Reed is your channel name, and you want to own that, but your second sentence begins with those words, so it repeats almost immediately. Nobody is searching the words welcome to or YouTube channel whilst on YouTube, so there's no SEO value to it. Official YouTube channel. Are there knockoff channels? I don't think so. Not what I'm seeing here. I can even filter to just channels. literally says no more results. So why would you put the word official in there if you're not differentiating yourself from something that is unofficial? Let's not use words just for the sake of using words or filling up space. Use only words that serve you. Everything you do should be in service of your why. And if part of your why or part of your how or what is a successful YouTube channel, let's focus everything on, if it doesn't work for you, then leave it in the past. So delete the first sentence. Reynold Reed is a filmmaker from upstate New York. That is intriguing to me, partly because I do create video content myself. I would not call myself a filmmaker, and I've been to Buffalo, but New York is obviously a very interesting cultural hub for so many different reasons that you could explain better than I ever could, having never been to the city myself. Hopefully I'm going in October, unnamed virus notwithstanding. But and so I think that the intriguing part to me is filmmaker from upstate New York. That's the interesting part. So let's get to it faster. Let's get it earlier in the description. So take out the first sentence and begin. Reynold Reed is a filmmaker from upstate New York that makes, and then try to get to the point as quickly as possible after that, so that people have a really good reason to get in there. If you are a filmmaker, and I was talking about your profile picture, holding a camera, everybody has the picture of themselves holding a DSLR, so maybe not that, something a little different. If you're shooting something like this and it's a profile shot of your face, that could be potentially compelling, really would convey filmmaker. Or maybe something a little bit more different than that. I mean, you could do the sort of, the classic, Steven Spielberg thing? I think he had so many magazine covers in like the 80s or 90s where there was like a chair that said director and he was like looking over it like this. You could do something like that. Or I think better would be to go for something a little bit more unique. So if we're talking filmmaker, there's so many other parts of filmmaking. If it's you holding a boom mic, that would be unique. It might imply that you're the boom mic operator, which is probably not what you want to convey. Same if you're holding a gel or a light stand or something else, but like something else about filmmaking. It could be you there at a storyboard, but then people might think you're an artist or a cartoonist, so that might get the wrong message across. But maybe think about it, and filmmaker can mean so many different things. Some people think that just saying filmmaker means I make videos on YouTube, and maybe that's what that is. Maybe you've worked on feature films, and it could be anything in between. You might have gone to college or university for filmmaking, and you might have had like a graduate film that you did or something. I'm very curious to see, and when I dive into your channel, I think I'll start to get a sense of that. But a unique shot, if at all possible, of you. And that it conveys what you do. And if it conveys some sense of action with it as well. I don't have it with me, I should grab it as a prop next time, one of those little clacker things, or doing something funny with it. Like, your head in the clacker. I don't know. I'm not coming up with a lot of unique ideas here because it's so generic, and it's been done by so many people in so many different ways. But if you can find your own unique way of doing it, is there something about the way that you make films that's somewhat unique? Then just like try to highlight that a little bit, I think is an idea. So that's just some basic thoughts there. Let's dive into the channel and see what's what, because I want to know more about this channel. It is intriguing to me. We got a welcome video. Okay, that's cool. And it's about a minute. That's perfect. This is a nice shot. Honestly, this shot right here that I just paused your channel trailer on would make a pretty decent profile picture, I think. I think it's a nice, flattering shot of you. You look a little bit at ease. Maybe a different freeze frame where your mouth, again, is something that's more akin to a smile or something. But I think that even that's really, I think this is a great shot. It has some interesting lighting about it. So that's just a thought that I had. So let's start with the banners. I often like to do. You've got a nice crisp image in the background there, which is presumably somewhere in upstate New York. I'm guessing Albany, but I don't know. I've only ever been to Buffalo and Cheektowawa. I went to the outlet mall in Cheektowawa, and I see. Oh, I'm jumping ahead here. I'll say that for later. So anyways, I like the picture. That's pretty good. You might want to consider increasing its vibrance a little. I talk about this a lot. You go into Photoshop, go to the vibrance setting, up it by 25 in vibrance, 25 in saturation, and the reds and the blues and the greens I think will pop a little bit more. Play around with how it looks. Make sure it doesn't look unnatural, but I think that would make it pop a little bit more. The crispness of the image is top notch. I just think that the coloration version could be slightly color corrected for the better. That's a minor thing. You've got Reynolds Reed Films there, which is fine. It's in a basic font, but it's readable. It's high contrast against the background. If I'm being an art critic, which I am not, I would say that it's not particularly intriguing, the text there in any way. It's a relatively generic font. It's not doing anything that unique, but it is clear. And so many YouTubers don't get clarity. And if you have to choose between artistic look and clarity, go with clarity every time. If you can achieve both, that's great. So if there's something that you could do to make it a little bit more interesting, putting a rectangular box and a layer behind it, maybe. I don't know. Or you could just leave it. That's totally fine. Oh, swallowed some air there. That was weird. I'm getting worked up because I'm excited about this channel. This channel looks like it could be really cool and have a lot of potential behind it. And I saw you've got LinkedIn, and I'm gonna click on that because I'm curious. I'm toeing the water with LinkedIn right now, so I want to see how you're using it. Anyways, it says new videos every Friday, and there's a couple things with that. I don't like the idea of having a public release schedule. It puts a lot of pressure on you. What if you get sick? What if you get an unnamed virus? What if whatever, life gets in the way, there's a family emergency, something happens, you want to take a vacation at some point? Having that pressure on there that's public, I think is not great. And I also think that there is something to be said for the mystery of not having a publicly published upload schedule. When it comes to James and Mike Mondays that Cinemassacre does, I know if I want to watch a new one on a Monday, I can just go to the channel. So I don't subscribe with notifications on. Compare that to these live streams, which I do whenever the heck I'm able, which isn't as often as I'd like, but lately it's been not bad. And so I don't always get a chance to give people advance notice, and there's no consistency to them in terms of when they happen. I'm going to be doing one tomorrow, probably around the middle of the day, West Coast, North America time. So watch out for that. Subscribe with notifications on, and you can join us early in chat, and I'll get your channel reviewed or answer your question, so your tutorial. What I just did right there was giving a reason for people to subscribe and have notifications on, because I'm Crazy Ray and they don't know when I'm going live. That's not by design. That's just how my life has shaken out, and I can't commit to things due to other commitments. But you can see that there is that mystery there that could potentially drive actually more engagement and subscribers notifications on, and that is becoming a metric in the new Creator Studio that you can look at. Who has notifications on? How many people are receiving those notifications? If the metric is being displayed there in Creator Studio, it's probably a metric that YouTube cares about. Why would they build the infrastructure behind it for nonsense information they don't care about? I'm thinking this is something they care about, so let's go for it. It's also white that is in places over top of something that is not high contrast, so it's difficult to read. Also, it's very central in the image, so that makes me think that's supposed to be the focal point. That's supposed to be the most important thing I'm looking at in the banner. And the fact that I don't even think it should be there at all, I'm thinking not the best idea. Is there something else we can put there, or would it be better without it so people can just appreciate the crisp image? I don't know. Maybe as I learn more about your channel, I might have an idea come to me about what could be there. So that's just the thought. And so let's talk about your social links, because I saw that and I'm like, ooh, I got excited. So you got your Facebook there. It's properly formatted. Well done. Twitter's there, formatting right. Here's your LinkedIn. I want to see where this goes. I want to see what you've got here. That doesn't work. That's interesting. So that is a malformed link, but it still somehow pulled the icon. That is very interesting. I also have some stuff happening on LinkedIn. I need to go check that out sometime. Anyways, what I think this is going is to a specific profile, and you probably have privacy settings on it, or the link is just malformed. Not sure. It looks like, yeah, profile view, !ID equals this. I think you should create a company page on LinkedIn for your channel, and then link to that. And that's what I've done. Although I should add to the social links for... I haven't done that yet. I've created the pages. I haven't linked them. I made one for Vacation Impossible, another for Small YouTubers Boost, but I did not put them in the social links for the channel. Thank you. You have inspired me to do something that will hopefully improve my channel. But anyways, that's what I recommend, is create a company page. Now, the problem with a company page is that it does limit the characters that you can post. I did a video on this channel recently about that, to like 750 or something. And I think the limit on a personal page is like 1,200. I don't know why they do it that way. But still, I think the company page, then you don't get those privacy issues. You don't get the malformed link issue quite so much. And I think it looks a little bit more professional. So that's my recommendation there. Enjoy it or not. You can ignore or follow whatever suggestions I have to your heart's content. I make no claims of expertise. All I can do is speak from my experience and my thoughts and opinions. But anyways, it's cool that you're thinking about having the linked in there. And given that your channel is about you, I can appreciate why you might link to a personal profile. Maybe that's still the right way to go, but right now that link ain't working. So you want to get that fixed one way or another, whether you create the company page or not. That absolutely should happen. That's one where you probably shouldn't ignore me. Just because it's something that's broken, so fix it. This is interesting here. You've got some hashtags in the description, but they appear at the beginning. Now, I recently did a video here on this channel where I talk about channel descriptions for SEO, and that's search engine optimization, for anybody who didn't know. So I recommend watching that. One of the things I talk about is these hashtags. So the hashtags, when people click into the video, I'll do it right now. Why not? I won't watch the video, but I just want to show you something here. Let the TubeBuddy load. This is almost becoming more like a video unsticking thing, but I think there's potential here, so let's talk about this. So you put the hashtags at the top of your description, and you got 6 comments. It's not bad. They don't need to be at the top because they're also up here above the title. So you can put those hashtags anywhere in your description, and they will appear above the title. So my personal recommendation is take those hashtags and put them at the very bottom of the description. So when people come to your video, and I talked about this in the description SEO video, you can watch that later if you need to or want to. I think it might be helpful. Is on this screen, you only get the top 3 lines of your description display. And so right now your top line is kind of being wasted on repeating something that appears just a little bit above it on the page. What is the channel really about? I think there's an extra space after really. Yeah, there is. So you can remove that extra space. Filmmaking talk shows on occasion. I'm thinking this is supposed to be a comma there. Filmmaking talk shows on occasion. Or is it a filmmaking talk show? Is you do filmmaking and you do a talk show? Or is it a talk show about filmmaking? A little grammar would make that a little bit more clear. It's really about building a fan base. That's literally what that says. I think you meant base, which should have an E. A fan base of subscribers and viewers. Tell me, what do you want to see? What do I want to see? I want to see stuff about the technical stuff behind the scenes of filmmaking. Professional filmmaking on a budget. I'd like to watch something like that. How you can take, improve your lighting for $10 or something. Maybe something like that. You could affiliate link stuff there. It could be a revenue source if it's something you're interested in. So you click show more to see the rest of the description. Share this video, which is interesting. So this is a link in the description of your video that is a link to the video that it's a description of. This is Inception recursive linking, and that is interesting. But it's, because you're trying to encourage people to share it, which I get. But if they were to click this, it wouldn't share the video. It would just reload this page. So what I guess your intention is you want people to highlight it, copy it, and then go share it somewhere. I don't know that that's the most effective way to do it. If you could figure out what the link is to share it to Facebook, to share it to Twitter, and then paste that, and say, share this video on Facebook, share this video on Twitter, that might be a bit more effective linking. You could try that. Subscribe for more videos. Here's the thing. That link there is actually not a subscription link. That's a link to your channel. If you want to look actually right now in the description of this video, I have where it says subscribe, and you'll see that there is more to that link. And then when someone clicks that, it actually brings up the subscription confirmation window. So that actually does functionally become a subscribe button. So you're going to want to adjust that link to have that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You've already said share and subscribe, so that's a little redundant. Just saying. Here are some great video highlights to check out. This is kind of a cool strategy, and you've got playlists here. I'm digging these blocks of links. This is actually pretty smart. Okay, so it's linking to your social media in various places. I'm curious about that LinkedIn. I really want to know. Okay, there we go. That time it loaded. So the link that you have in the description for your video is working. So if you were to copy that to your channel settings, then it should work in the banner as well. So that's very interesting. Filmmaker from 2011, 9 years. That's no small amount of experience. Activity, you got 45 followers. That ain't nothing. That's interesting. So I think that you could bulk this up. One thing I would recommend is getting the banner and the profile picture set up there for yourself. One of the things that various platforms look at for giving you a verification check mark, not so much YouTube, but places like Instagram, Twitter, and other places, they look at, among other things, where you exist on other social media, and are you consistent in both your look and your content. So if you are posting about filmmaking on various places consistently, the profile picture is the same, the banner is consistent, the art and style and font colors and all that, then they're like, okay, this is probably all the same person, they're probably serious about what they do, they're probably all in, and they're probably more deserving of a verified check mark. A lot of people see the check mark as a badge of authenticity or of expertise. And so if a social media site sees that you're strong in social media across multiple platforms, they're more willing to give you that check mark because they see that you're active and consistent and you're probably a real brand, not like a one-off or a knockoff. Like, for example, having official in there. If there are knockoffs, consistent look and style and content is one of the ways that you clearly identify the official one from the fakes. So, yeah, I would take, and even, in the meantime, if you don't yet have a new, I really like this still image here. Like this one here, I think that could make a fine profile picture. But, whatever, you can take the one you have now and put it also in here in LinkedIn. I think that's a relatively easy thing to do to flush out your LinkedIn profile a bit more. If you're linking to it so much so that it's in your banner, let's make it a strong landing place for people to go to. Let's see here. So you got some comments. No pinned comment, I noticed. And so one of the things about YouTube over the years is that it gives you an advantage in the algorithm when you use its functions. And one of the functions is the ability to heart or like a comment. So find a nice one and do that. And also find one that's good or interesting and pin it. And those two things will give a micro boost to this video in the algorithm in terms of its behind the scenes score. We've got the Videolytics tool here, which you get with TubeBuddy. You get almost this entire thing in the free version, except the comments pinned and hearted functionality is often not actually displayed in the free version. The paid versions is where you get those red X's or white check marks. But this sort of thing is really useful for looking at your own videos as well as the videos of your competition. So if you wanted to compete with this channel, you could see what they're doing and what they're not doing. Or if you wanted to check your own channel, if you come here as a content creator to go find a comment you like and pin, if you've got this installed in your browser plugin, you can notice, oh wait, I missed the end screen on this. All right, okay, I'll go do that. I do that all the dang time, let me tell you. This stuff is constantly catching steps that I forgot to take. And these are steps that help you in the algorithm. So small YouTubers need every boost they can get. So let's take a look here. You got 14 likes, high ratio against the dislikes, but the level of engagement on 500 views is actually pretty good. Also with those comments as well. You got 5 likes on Facebook, no upvotes on Reddit. So what I would recommend you do is share this video somewhere in Reddit. I've got a place for that. The Small YouTubers Boost subreddit. Just make sure you describe what the link is when you post it, and it'll be fine. And so at least it'll be somewhere on Reddit, and you can get a little karma by posting it, and you can start to learn Reddit a bit more. I do strongly recommend people try to use Reddit. You can get a lot of traffic there if you use it appropriately. And you got 3 mentions on Twitter, which is pretty solid for a video with 500 views. I think that's good. And there's some information about the channel across the board here. No info cards. It's a short video. I recommend adding info cards. One caveat, I have noticed TubeBuddy the last few days hasn't been updating this necessarily accurately, so you may already have info cards, and it might just be displaying wrong, so that's a fair thing. There's no end screen. I recommend adding an end screen if at all possible. And like I said, hearting and pinning a comment. These are helpful things. But I'm seeing here they've got captions, which is good. Now your tags here. I thought I was going to see something like this. The first tag on your video on YouTube, which is a video platform, is literally the word video. That is, I think, probably not helping. If you're talking about filmmaking, you could replace it with film. Even that would be an improvement. I think that it wouldn't be much of one because it's still a very short keyword. Filmmaking, a bit better. Filmmaking in New York, filmmaking in upstate New York, something like that. The longer it gets, the more competitive you can be in that space. Videos, there's the other one. Yeah, like here, I can actually click on this. And we can bring up the keyword explorer. I love how TubeBuddy does this. This is great. And you get this functionality largely in the free version as well. You can only do so many of these searches, and you get fewer related in tags here. But the core functionality is often in the free version as well. And so it literally says poor, a 13 out of 100. 144 million videos have this tag. Okay. So, oh no, wait, those are searches. Sorry. Wow. No. That's how many people were searching that, which to me is shocking. I can't believe people come to YouTube and search the word video. That's like people who go to Google and Google on Google. Try saying that when you're drunk. If you haven't seen If Google Was a Guy on College Humor, check it out. It's freaking hilarious. But anyways, I lowballed that figure hard. How many videos are tagged with the word video? 5 billion. Wow. That's insane. Wow. So you're competing against 5 billion other videos. On this one tag. And there's one tag, but hey, let's win in every category we can as best we can. All right, so let's replace video with film. Because you said filmmaker, so let's try film. Is it going to be more than 5 billion? I don't even know anymore. Okay, now it's only 972 million. We've cut it down to less than like a fifth of what it was. Okay, so now we've got film. How about filmmaking? Because this is about making films. Where are we at now? We were at 0.9 billion. Now we're down to just 9 million. We were just to a tenth of what it was. 100? That's 1% of what it was. It's actually 1% of what it was. Now your competition is shrinking every moment. Okay. And what was it I said? Filmmaking in New York? Let's try this one. And so, okay, the score is 11. What's going to happen to the score? What's going to happen to the videos and the result? I bet you those videos are going to drop substantially. I'm thinking down to less than 1 million, and I'm thinking that score is going to improve at least a little. Let's see. We're going to go from 11 to, come on, a better score. Maybe even a fair rating would be nice. It would make my point for me very nicely. Come on, TubeBuddy, if you were faster, this would be great. I'm building suspense. Apparently... Come on, TubeBuddy, work with me here. Please? Maybe if I click it again. Come on, guys. I'm trying to work with you here. Maybe if I reload this panel. Maybe if I go up this way. I'll go this way. What the hell? That got a pour? Damn. Okay, well, I tanked the score, apparently. But I will say this, the competition is greatly reduced. There's now only... I said less than 1 million, and I was right about that. It's 400,000. So, okay. That's still not great. I'm not done yet. I'm not giving up. Let's try New York filmmaking. How are things in chat? Everybody good? I have a clapperboard. Pick was in Troy, New York. I began moving hashtags to the bottom. Awesome. Cool. We're on the same wavelength there. I pinned a comment in some videos. Cool. And, you don't have to go and do them all. It's as you, I think, encounter them organically and then go. Yeah, no, I've got really solid internet, though. Like, anyways. That's still poor. Okay. Well, I'm not great at this. Maybe that wasn't the greatest dimension. Maybe people don't care about combining those two things. But the point is, let's not compete against 5.66 billion other videos, because that's gonna be hard. Now, that having been said, some other opportunities that you've got here, you're not maxing out your tags for the video. And I know it's a channel trailer, so people don't often invest as much time, and I'm not saying put huge time into this, but a channel trailer is also a video, so let's have it succeed as a video and as a channel trailer at the same time, if at all that we can. So putting more tags in there, it can only help if so long as the tags are accurate. That's a very important part of that particular puzzle. This will probably be my last channel review for the night. I'll jump back into chat for a bit. But that's some of the things that I talked about here. So like sharing on Reddit and tweaking the tags, adding an info card, add an end screen if you can, pin and heart a comment. Those are some recommendations there. Pause. Okay. I like your gesturing while you're speaking. There's clearly some passion behind what you're talking about. I like that. One of the things that is interesting. Again, we have a similar view spike on March 2nd. What is that all about? Okay, so you had a video come out on March 29th, and I had one come out on the 1st. Is that maybe? That's weird how there's some mirroring here again, but in different dates. There's a mystery. Ghost in the Machine? I don't know. Weird. Yeah. Cool. Well, so one of the things that they talk about, like for actors, because, in high school I studied acting a bit, and they talk about how a lot of people who, particularly early in an acting career or whatever, they think that all the acting happens right here. And in film and TV, that can be true to a certain degree, but any stage acting, it's hard for people to see the subtle things that are happening right here. Sometimes some actors can do amazing things with just their eyes. Like Leonard Nimoy was amazing for that. Chris Pine also, I think, can do a lot with just a subtle change of his face. He can communicate a novel. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's like certain subtle things can convey so much strong emotions too. And so they can be true, but a lot of people don't use their full body. And so gesturing, talking with your hands can be taken too far, especially when you hit the mic like I do on occasion. Apologies to headphone users. But it's important because it makes it a more dynamic thing to watch as people gesture with their hands. And they lean in when they're excited. It conveys information and stuff like that. And so, I'm thinking that's probably a thing that you do, and that's a good thing. You've got the recommended panel up here, which is good. Channels that we recommend. That's fine. A little wordy. You could just say recommended channels. That's a nitpick. So you got some stuff there, which is cool. What are your channel again, so channel tags, videos appears here. These are, I think, scanning, all one word. So I'm thinking that you might not be aware that you can have multi-word channel tags. You can do this one of two ways. When you go into the channel tags, which is the advanced settings for your channel, you can put quotation marks around them so that multiple words, even with spaces, will be looped as a single keyword, or you can put commas between them as well. That works also. There's a lot of interesting stuff here, like dancer, dancers, dance. So if you have videos on that subject, fair enough. Videos, I've covered why. Trains, that's kind of interesting. Official, cut that. Certainly is its own tag. I don't think you need to put it in there anywhere. I would stray away from the word official. Wait until you have imposters and people pretending to be you before you use that word. And even then, anyone can just type the word official. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't think it adds value. Sightseeing, trips, movies, vlog, art, star, celebrity, music, composer. So really Amtrak, like really think, are these accurate? And only have the accurate ones if at all possible. I'm going to close the Channelytics tag so I can take a look at some of your videos here because I'm still kind of curious. So you got a vlog about your mom's 60th birthday, dirty house episode, washing white clothes, how I feel about sunglasses. Looks like you have some lives where the thumbnail is a picture of New York, which is kind of cool, aerial shot. You got Sir Topham Hatt in a Christmas video. I'm a little curious about that, not gonna lie. Okay, you've got a video from another channel. This is under recent activities. I'm not that familiar with the recent activities tab. How do you get a video from another channel there? Is that just what you've watched recently? I wouldn't have the recent activities thing. You've got uploads up here, so otherwise that's somewhat redundant. And you've got popular uploads down here, which is good. You've got the playlist of playlists, which is okay. Cleaning videos, Texas Central Railroad, transportation, Saratoga Springs, New York, GoPro videos. Is this a variety channel? I have to ask, because I thought maybe this was about filmmaking, and I don't think I've seen anything about filmmaking, so I may have been wrong about that assumption. That happy birthday is legible, so that thumbnail's not bad. Now it's time to transfer the clothes from the washer to the dryer. The text on there is not great. I think the picture largely says what you're doing, so I would remove the text and possibly maybe just write white clothes, because if that's the challenge about like trying to keep white clothes white without like killing any coloration that might be on the clothes, then that would get more to the point. My opinion on sunglasses, I don't know how broad that is. If it's just about like, should people wear sunglasses ever, or which sunglasses look good, or should you wear your sunglasses at night so you can? I don't know. Corey Hart fans out there? I'm not necessarily one, but I threw that one out there for fun. Anyone who got that, hopefully they enjoyed it. So that's a little vague. Is it a review of specific sunglasses? I don't know. And then maybe make that a little bit more clear. You've got vlogs that begin with the date. I would remove that because it's literally dated. If it was just how I feel about sunglasses, unless that what you're talking about specifically only relates to that day, I think that the date is not serving you well. But I like the way you're handling your lives. The picture is good, and like the one that's not most recent, you put the date on. That's sort of what I do on this channel, so that's pretty relatable. Best Alex Jones moments ever. Huh. I'm not sure how to feel about that one. Is it complimentary or critical? Unclear. He's a polarizing figure, and so I would think having something about this makes me think it's positive, but I'm unclear, and so clarity there might be appreciated by a potential audience. I'm curious what your like to dislike ratio is on that video. Because if you're getting high dislikes, it might be because it's not very clear what side on that you're on. And maybe you're somehow neutral. I suppose that's possible. I think with that individual, that would be a challenge. Let's see here. So we got some playlists. And so, yeah, you got some playlists. You might want to consider playlists as a horizontal row on your main channel layout. The problem with that is that there's so many different subjects being discussed. It's hard going through your channel layout to get a real feel for what it's about. I'm thinking niching down might be something to consider. That having been said, you do have 800 subscribers, and so that's not a bad number. And they've gotten you this far, so I'm not sure. Checking the About page. Cities we'd like to visit. Couple things. It's Los Angeles with an O. And I'm not sure that having that there is helpful necessarily. Because this is too good to describe what you're about, not what you will be about. I don't know. It might be okay to have. It's good to have goals and to share those. And if you have plans to go there, that's not bad. A filmmaker from upstate New York that makes sightseeing and tourism documentaries, dance videos, you name it. Okay, Variety Channel. Got it. Yeah. We go to these places, including New York City, documentaries about the upstate New York area, cities, short films. Interviews, etc. We upload a new video every Friday. All content on this channel is property of and copyright law, international treaty. Unauthorized. Please contact the email. Send your name, company name, if applicable. Usage information. Is that something that happens often? Has that been a concern? Have people been stealing your content? I mean, I might have sounded glib earlier when I was talking about official, but maybe you just issued copyright notices to them, and so that's why there were no other channels with your name. You might just be fiercely protecting your brand. I'm not sure. I'm curious if that's been an issue. I wouldn't mind hearing about it if it has been an issue. You're at nearly 400,000 views. Every 100,000 views is a fun moment. I like it when that happens, so enjoy it when yours comes soon. I think that's probably it for channel reviews today. Let's just... Videos that I've watched. Yeah, variety. Okay. Mommy Butterfly. I'm sorry to say that we're reaching towards the end of the broadcast. I'll probably go for another 7 minutes, maybe, so I can hit that nice little 2-hour mark. So it's like I made a little super low-budget movie for you. And then I can... there's other things I need to be doing tonight. But... I'm going to, probably, high likelihood, I will be going live again tomorrow, sometime in the daytime, so not quite so late in the evening. Oh, no, wait, no, not tomorrow, sorry. Tomorrow evening, hopefully I'll go live around a similar time. It's Saturday. I'm not working tomorrow, so it's like, today's like my Friday. Sorry, it's Saturday. I'll be going live in the daytime. So, yeah... That's what that's the idea. So anyways, tomorrow around a similar bat time, definitely similar or same bat channel, we will be going live here, I hope, assuming nothing critical comes up. I'm taking the car in for maintenance, and the horn isn't working, and so I'm worried about the cost on that. So I might just be here crying about all of my money being gone or having to shop for a new car. God, I hope not. Pray for me. I don't know, buy something with my affiliate link. I'm kidding. No, I'm hoping it'll be okay. But that's my minor stress for tomorrow. And so I'll come back and report on how that went on the next live stream tomorrow evening, hopefully. And then on Saturday, I'll go in the daytime. And then I'm hoping also again to do Sunday. I'm not sure what time. Maybe in the daytime. Depends on life. So we're going to... you've issued copyright claims in the past. Okay, I can appreciate that. I actually had to issue a copyright strike myself. Somebody downloaded my video, used the same thumbnail, title, description, and video, uploaded it wholesale. The only thing they changed was in the description, they added tons of links to their travel agent business. And I very gleefully issued a copyright strike for that. My video that they straight up stole was responsible for like half the views on their channel. And so I was all too happy to take that down. No regrets. No apologies for that one. I'll be live at Redacted. The only way to know for sure is to hit the bell. That's kind of a cool idea too, yeah. It'd be like, I'll be live from a secret location. Find out where. Just had to get a new clutch and cabin heater in my car. It would have been cheaper to buy a new car, yeah. Our general rule of thumb is if the repairs are going to be more than $1,000, it's just time to go look for a newer used car. I don't know. I want to own a Tesla one day. We did a test drive in a Model 3 with autopilot, and there's a video on Vacation Possible about that. So you can go check that out. And we fell in love, and we want a Tesla, but we don't make Tesla money, not yet. But hey, go watch every video on Vacation Impossible. Sign up for paid TubeBuddy with the affiliate link. Go shopping with our affiliate links, and then maybe one day we can do a video about unboxing our Tesla. It doesn't come in a box, I don't think. But anyways, let's just see what I missed in chat while I was focusing on channel reviews. Just want to see that I didn't miss too much, hopefully. God, Monday Fun Day. Oh, this is talking about somebody videos on the channel. Fair enough. Vlogs and travel. Right, you did say that before I went looking. Wow, did I do a good job of deleting that from my mind? Sometimes, like a WWE compilation, the source material in this context doesn't exist, so it's an original thing. But on the whole, most things aren't original now. That's interesting. Is it not original in the sense that it's not available on YouTube anywhere? Or is it not original in the sense that... Or that it's original in the sense that, like, you filmed it? Because if it's WWE, wouldn't they own all the rights to it? Like, I would think. I mean, not you, but whoever made the compilation. The royal you. The mysterious internet you. I think maybe put your own creative taste on subjects that you cover, yeah? Baby Shark probably spent a lot of money, but knew their video was a hit with kids. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and hell, they wrote a hell of a song, and the video was compelling in bright colors. things that were going to work with kids. And so I don't want to make it sound like they just, and I think I probably even said it very harshly, that they just bought success. I mean, that's reductive. It's an oversimplification. They did put a lot of work in, and they did create an interesting product, and it has brought joy to many, many people. And so I don't want to criticize that. It was more the growth pattern and model that I wanted to point out, because if people are beating themselves up because why can't I be a success like Baby Shark, there was an artificial inflation to the rate at which it grew. Is sort of what I was saying there, I think. Got to go catch you on the flippity flop. Thanks for Achilles Melee. You'll probably watch this in the replay, I'm hoping. So, anybody who is watching this in the replay, comment #replay in the comments. Curious to see how many people watch the replay versus live. Ray, what is your opinion about having text in thumbnails? I think it's often good. Like if it's a screen cap from a video game, you definitely need it to make it look like you put some effort into that thumbnail, and it's more than just a random shot of the game, and to convey a bit more about what it might be about. And that's really what it's about. It's about telling a story. Your thumbnail should tell sufficiently enough of a story that people have an idea what it's about and want to click into it. And so if the text is just a bunch of question marks and emojis and stuff, I don't think that gets the job done. But if it's like there's a picture of two people arguing, and maybe you want to put the text to explain a little bit about what they're arguing about, right? It's like, arguing about laundry or something. I don't know, whatever. Bernie bro versus a Biden bro, I don't know, something like that, a debate, because it could just be two people that look like they're yelling at each other, maybe seriously, maybe comically, whatever, and so a little bit of text can be good. Too much text is people don't want to read, or it'll have to be so small that they won't be able to read it. So I would say when putting text on a thumbnail, use as few words as possible, but sufficient words to tell the story. Not necessarily to make the point. The point will be contained in the video, especially if it's like, you're trying to make a political point or something. It's like, oh, why Tulsi Gabbard should drop out of the, whatever, or why she shouldn't, or whatever. You don't necessarily want to have your points as to why, but make it clear that that's what the video is about, and I think that will help. Let's see here. That awkward moment when someone smiles at you and you make eye contact and smile back, but you don't know them, and then you feel like a creep and have to immediately walk away before it escalates. Relatable. Picture was taken in the spring. Okay. Well, and also the spring, I think it's the coloration, so you could color correct the picture a little bit, brighten it up a little. Not brighten it up, but increase sort of the saturation and vibrance, and then it'll have more of a spring feel, warmer colors, because it was like it's cooler tones with like a hint of blue and stuff like that, and that's what we associate more with the fall. And the funny thing is like the weather in the fall and the spring is very similar to each other. It's just that like the trees are, green or brown, depending on which one you're talking about. So I thought about that. I thought I missed the stream. Taking notes, Sierra Nelson. That's awesome. And you are able to rewatch the streams. Anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes after the stream concludes, it will be rewatchable in its entirety. So don't break your hand taking notes. I was taking a lot of notes today, and I got this little kind of thing going on my finger there. This little red bump. So don't do that. Take your time. Junin K. Sorry I didn't have time to get to you this time, but I'm gonna try and go live stream the next 3 days. So probably tomorrow evening, Friday evening, and that's Pacific Coast time in North America, and then Saturday sometime in the daytime, and then Sunday I'm not sure when. So there should be hopefully lots of opportunities for questions, answers, channel reviews, tutorials, whatever we can do. But with that in mind, I think we're doing pretty good. Video 1, unboxing the Tesla. Video 2, behind the scenes unboxing of the Tesla. Classic YouTuber move there. I like that. Moving all the hashtags to the bottom. Cool. I think that's an improvement. So thank you so much for watching. As I am the creator of Vacation Impossible, I try to end every live stream with a direct challenge, a mission for you to accomplish that will hopefully improve your channel. And so your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to create a company page on LinkedIn for your channel and then link it in on the about page of your channel. That's what I'm going to go do. I've already created the pages. I haven't added the links yet because I didn't think of it until Reynold Reed came along here and thankfully reminded me of that. So I'm going to go do that shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. That way you can join us early in the next live stream. Hope to do one a day for the next 3 days. You get in early. You get your channel review or your video unstuck or your question or your tutorial nice and early, and hopefully you can get what you need and we can get you on your way to helping your channel succeed. Check out the other videos on this channel. I highly, highly, highly recommend our 2 SEO videos. One's about writing titles, one's about writing descriptions, and it'll help get your videos in front of eyeballs, and that's what we all want. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the Facebook group, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, all over the place. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, go create those company pages on LinkedIn, link them, and let's see what we can do. All right, let's go boost those channels. Thanks so much for watching. This live stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds.